Hey everyone, welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game. We're on level 5, Scenario, or Adventure 5, Adventure 5.5 here at the Elemental Trenches, where at the start of your turn, roll a d6, recharge all cards in your hand that have this trait. Okay, should be interesting. We have Alahazra, that's the character we're playing with. The hand size is 8. The hand is all set, advancing the Blessings deck. And the first card we get is the Locate Object spell. It's a level 1 spell. It's a check to acquire. Intelligence, Arcane, Wisdom, Divine. Well, Alahazra's Divine is D10 plus 7, so this is an auto acquire. But I don't know if we want to use this. We have to examine cards. Actually, you know what? The first thing I had to do was roll for that Elemental Trenches. So let's go ahead and do that. Just to do a quick shenanigan. So we had to recharge cards that had the bludgeoning trait. Wow. So that kind of sucks. So we had to recharge the Staff of Dark Flame. Didn't really want to lose that card, but we recharged it. Okay, so now Locate Object. We get Locate Object, we don't want to use it. We're going to reset our hand since we lost the Staff of Dark Flame, which was unfortunate. Advancing the Blessings deck, rolling now for Elemental Trenches. We roll a 6. We have to recharge cards with the poison trait. Fortunately, we don't have anything with the poison trait. So we are now going to explore. We get a Fire Hydra. Aberration Fire Basic. So that means it's a basic monster. That means that after this encounter, it will be banished for the entire campaign. So before you act, each character at your location must succeed at a Dexterity or Acrobatics 8 check. Well, Alahazra only has a dexterity of d4. So she's going to go ahead and use the armor here, which can recharge this card to ignore a non-villain Bane's power that happens before you act. Okay, so we will ignore the Fire Hydra effect there. So now we need to succeed at a Combat 7 check. So it's not, so, and it has to have the Acid, Cold, Electricity or Fire or Poison trait, or the Fire Hydra is undefeated. We'll go ahead and use a Fiery Glare. It's D10 Arcane, which is D10, plus 7 plus 2d4. So since Alahazra has Divine of D10 plus 7, this will be an auto succeed. It gets banished for the rest of the campaign. I'm rolling to see if I recharge my Fiery Glare spell. I needed a Divine 10, so that is a success. Alright, that was actually right on the nose there. Okay, so now we will reset the hand, and we will advance the Blessings deck. We'll roll for Elemental Trenches. Oh, it was just a d6. And we have to recharge cards that have the Acid trait. Fortunately, we don't have anything with the Acid trait. Alright, very fortunate there. And we get the Evil Eye. It's a trigger. We did not examine this card. The difficulty to defeat is increased by twice the scenario's adventure deck number, so that would make this a 10 for a total of 16. So 16, we do want to defeat this card. Fortunately, we have the Find Traps spell in our hand, so we're going to make this a Divine check. We get to roll 3d10 for the Divine check, and we get to add 7. Okay, feeling pretty good about this. 4 and a 9. So right there, we rolled 13, we can add 3, so a total of 20. We need a 16. That means the Evil Eye is now banished. We could have also added an additional d8 to that roll, thanks to Alahazra's ability. The Find Traps is an auto recharge. That is so cool. That is very awesome. So the question is, we have 3 blessings in our hand. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to explore, because we don't have to deal with this at this location effect. We're going to use the Blessing of Thoth. So to use the Blessing of Thoth, we have to examine the top card, but only if it has the Undead trait can we explore. So we're not going to use that. We'll just use this Blessing of Khepri. We can discard this card to explore the location. Let's see what we get. Okay, we get an Elite Barrier. So that means that after we resolve this encounter, this card, if successfully defeated, will be banished for the rest of the campaign. So it's a Charisma Diplomacy 8 check. Well, Alahazra has a charisma or diplomacy of charisma +2, so her charisma is D10 +6. So we'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead. We'll take a gamble here. We're just gonna hopefully not roll a 1, and we rolled a 9. Okay, so 9 +6 is 15, more than enough. So if defeated, you may examine the top 3 cards of your location deck and put them back in any order. You know, let's go ahead and do it. That's actually not too bad. We can examine the top 3. So examining the first one, okay, no trigger effect. Examining the second one, oh, it's a trigger. That means we have to, when you examine this card, display it next to your deck. So while displayed, your intelligence and wisdom skills are each D4. So it's a trigger, curse, undead, elite. Okay, so we got to put this by our deck. We're stuck with memories of violence. We still can explore one more. Okay, and we get that. And it says here we can examine the top 3 and we can put them back in any order. So we'll put them back in that order. So we have the memories of violence, but Alahazra has this special power. It says here, you may discard a spell to banish a card that has the curse trait next to a deck of a character at your location. Okay, well, the memories of violence does have the curse trait, so we are going to, shucks. But we're not going to do that right now because we don't want to banish our jolting portent spell. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset our hand. We are going to advance the blessings deck. We going to go ahead and explore. We know what this is. It's a Blessing of Horus. It's an auto. Since it's a Divine 6, it's an auto acquire. We're going to use it to explore. So we're going to discard that. We're going to explore. We get the crowbar. Let's see if we acquire the crowbar. So we rolled a 6. So we did acquire the crowbar. So now the question is since we're dealing with memories of violence, Alahazra can get rid of it just by discarding a spell. But it says here, during your exploration, when you encounter a monster, you evade it. So let's see. So let's see. Let's go ahead and, okay, so what we're going to do now is we like our hand. We're going to go ahead and use a Blessing of Horus. We have another Blessing of Horus. And we're going to use that to explore. Okay, and here we get the, so we get the monster, but we have the memories of violence. So that means that it says here, during your exploration, when you encounter a monster, evade it. So we have to evade the Canopus Soul, which is kind of unfortunate. It gets shuffled back into the deck. Let's see which card is on top of the deck. It's the last card. Okay, so now we will recharge our hand. Okay, we get a spell, which is awesome. We are advancing the Blessings deck. We're going to roll for Elemental Trenches. Okay, we rolled a 3. We have to recharge cards that have the cool trait. That kind of sucks because we have the Blessing of Thoth. So we're recharging that. It says here with Memories of Violence, when any character starts her turn at your location, she may encounter this card. If defeated, banish it. So it says, I don't know if, so basically what we're going to do, I don't know if Alahazra can encounter this card or not, but just to be on the safe side, we're going to use her special power. We're going to discard, because it says right here, we can discard a spell to banish the cursed card. So that's what we're doing. We'll discard Heat Metal. We'll get rid of this curse. We don't have to deal with it. And then what we're going to do is, I think what we're going to do, we discard the Heat Metal. We did that. Memories of Violence. I guess we will just reset our hand. We're going to advance the Blessings deck. We'll see what we get. Okay, he's back. Well, actually, before we advance the Blessings deck, we have to roll for Elemental Trenches. So we have to recharge cards that have the Acid trait. We don't have cards that have the Acid trait. Now we can go ahead and meet the Canopic Soul. Interesting word, whether it's canopic, or canopic, who knows. Okay, so immune to mental and poison traits. If the check to defeat does not have the magic trait, the Canopic Soul is undefeated. Before you act, it deals each character at your location 1 mental damage that may not be reduced. Okay, so we'll take the damage. May not be reduced. So we're going to actually lose a Blessing of Not. So then after you act, it does each damage, some damage there. So right now, we do have the Jolting Portent. It says here, for your combat check, discard this card to use your Divine Skill plus 3d8. If the Bane has a power that happens before you act, add another d8. If it has a power that happens after you act, add another d8. So it has a before and an after. Man, that is pretty sweet. So we're rolling with that spell alone, rolling a d10 plus a total of 5d8. Isn't that silly? Wow, that is pretty cool. 5d8. Let me gather my dice here. Make sure I have 5d8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do. Then, to top that off, we're going to be using the Ring of the Grasping Grave. So we can add 1d4 plus the Scenario's adventure deck number on your check that invokes the undead trait. So, undead right there. So 1d4. So it's going to be 1 plus Scenario 5. So we're adding 6 to this roll. So, and since it's the divine check, we're adding another 7. So we're adding 13 to this roll. That's pretty sweet. I think we got this. 13 to defeat the Canopic Trenches, or Canopic Soul. So we got 8, and this is 10, so 18, and, okay, so we got right here. 18, 19, 27. We get 27, plus we were adding 6, which is 33, plus another 7. So we rolled a total of 40. So pretty amazing. That was not an issue. But it says here, after you act, the Canopic Soul deals each character at your location 1d4 mental damage that may not be reduced. Well, first we'll see if we recharge our Jolting Portent spell. So Divine 14. So we did not succeed. So this gets discarded. Ring of the Grasping Grave, we just had to reveal that card. So now we're going to roll to see how much damage he does to us. So 1d4. So he does a total of 3 damage that may not be reduced, so we have to lose 3 cards. We'll go ahead and lose this one, and that one. Then what we have to do is he's banished. We have to reset our hand to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can reset our hand, no problem. We still had 3 cards left in our deck, so that means that the Elemental Trenches is closed. Alright, oh, that's a pretty cool scenario. So the Elemental Trenches is closed. Let's go ahead and do a deck check here for Alahazra. So I'm just going to go ahead and once again kind of condense this to just the cards that she has that are level 3, or actually level 4 or 5, because those are the only cards that she'll be able to trade to a trader. So she has the Eruption spell, the Circle spell. Let's see. Is she going to go to a trader? That's the question. So she has all these. So this is her deck. Her deck's doing really well. I mean, really no complaints. She acquired some extra boons there, but the extra boons were of level 3 or less. So these are the 3 cards that she could trade to a trader, but she wants to keep all those cards. The reward for that scenario was actually a card feat, though. So it was a card feat. So that's going to be an interesting question. What kind of card does Alahazra want to gain? Does she want to gain another weapon, a spell, more armor? She's already maxed out with items. So, interesting pick there. Interesting. Which kind of card should Alahazra get? I think it's either gonna be the blessing or a spell. I think we're gonna go for another spell. We'll have an additional spell slot. Let's see. What did she gain though? She gained a blessing, so she can actually keep one of these blessings. Okay, so she gained a spell slot. She can just keep the locate object and get rid of it later. So I think that's what we'll do. We're gonna go ahead and give her a spell slot. We'll keep the locate object spell for now, and that will be the deck check update for Alahazra. So the next scenario is going to be the final scenario of level 5, and I'll have that scenario up shortly. Alright, thanks for watching.